folks, Captain Mike here from Hogy Lure Company, back here at the dock after a shoot we did with Salty Cape TV where we were topwater casting to bluefin tuna using the Hogy Epoxy Jig. Now what I love about this shoot is it's pretty much like albie fishing but on steroids for big bluefin tuna. So just going to take a minute here in the dock to walk through our playbook, which is a textbook scenario of our walk the dog approach, and we're just going to walk you through all the steps. So here I have the tuna outfit we were using. Now this is the Hogy tuna spinning outfit, and I would call this a medium heavy to heavy outfit. Now we have a wide range of tuna here ranging from 40 pounds upward to north of 72 inches, so sky's the limit. I like an outfit that can do a wide range of fish. I sort of max out at targeting fish to 150 pounds, and this outfit is certainly within that range. A couple of features: it has a short butt, so it's easy to fight off my hip. When you're boat side, it's no fighting belt to encumber, freeing the rod to clear outfits, clear outboards, and just an easy outfit to use. Very parabolic, very forgiving. You can launch a 4-ounce, in today's case, an epoxy jig. Just an easy overall outfit. I have it rigged with a Stella 18,000. Does not need to be a Stella per se, but this size reel is perfect. Depending on the reel I have, they're either rigged with 80-pound test braid or 100-pound test hollow core, either with a wind-on leader, loop-to-loop connection, or a fluoro leader connected with an FG knot. Either way, you're good to go. If fish are smaller, I tend to go with 80-pound test fluoro. If they're bigger, I'll go up to 100-pound test fluoro. In either case, my casting leader is about 12 feet because you want that leader to be long enough to clear the tail of the fish so it doesn't fray you off during a battle. Now, the last final component about the terminal connection, more on the lure in a minute, I like to tie directly to a barrel swivel to a split ring, and that's where I'm going to connect my lure on. It makes it a lot easier to switch lures or plugs throughout the day. Just need a pair of split ring pliers, boom, off, you're off. And yeah, but that's the outfit we were using in a nutshell. So the bluefin today, we're keyed in on sand eels. So natural extension there is anything in olive color, but they were coming up and going down very quickly. And so I wanted to err on a lure that gave me a long casting range and then flexibility in terms of how I fished, how I retrieved for the tuna. I can fish it up top or down below, but it's just a perfect imitation. You can tell by the silhouette of a sand eel. It's long range casting, it's fishy with this translucent quality, certainly through wired in a beefy tuna grade hook, so no matter what I hook into, I'm good to go. Now, this lure, fish it just the same way as you would fish for albies back inshore, coming up in the later portions of the summer, early September here on Cape Cod. And so 3 retrieves. You've got a topwater skippy retrieve where you're having that bait pop across the surface. You've got an intermediate retrieve where your tip is pointed toward the water fast, lots of starts and stops, lots of stalls. Then you got the slow and low where it's a slow retrieve. You're gonna stop reeling for a second, let the bait sink down. So it's a very versatile lure, so you can pretty much do anything with this you want, right down to vertical jigging if you see something below you. Now, I'm not a huge fan of run and gun for a variety of reasons, but mostly I think over time it begins to spook the fish, and the change of RPMs almost more than anything, I think, is what sort of puts the fish down and makes them finicky. Whether it disturbs the bait or disturbs the tuna, I'm not sure, but either way I don't like the outcome. So a lot of times I'll just idle around looking for targets on my fish finder, looking for targets on my side scan, and if I'm close enough to a school, I can cut the angle without a whole lot of RPM changes, take the boat out of gear, fire a shot off, and I'm in business. So the fishing today was very sporadic. Again, much like the Albie playbook, they come up and they go down, up and down. And so, you know, we're in open water. There's not a lot of structure to like keep these fish in any one place. So the name of the game is obviously staying with life. Certainly if you see breaking fish, there you go. But there was a lot of random feeds. So what we want to do is, well, A, pay attention to our fish finder, see if we mark bait under us. That's a good sign. An even better sign is if you're marking bait and fish on your side scan, and that's as far as it goes with electronics. And then also birds. If you see lots of birds circling tight but high above the water, I view that as the birds are anticipating action to happen. And certainly if the birds are aggressive and there's tuna feed, well, you know, I don't need to finish that sentence. So we talked about walk and gun, where you're sort of meandering around, staying with life at a single RPM speed, which you're effectively just popping the boat out of gear once you're on top of it. But I also want to talk about leading a school. You don't want to go charging right into it. You want to get upwind of it so you can use a downwind cast to improve distance and accuracy, so you don't have to get right on top of them. You want to get in front of the school. You want to cast up in the school and bring the lure so there's almost a chance intersection, if you will, between the lure and the school, and you're presenting your lure to those lead fish. And that's how you're going to get bit without spooking the entire school. Then your fellow anglers can throw a plug in and get one too. So let's talk about landing a fish to keep. So textbook scenario, just like any other time you catch a tuna, rule of thumb is 1, you want to have your boat downwind so you don't drift on top of the fish. And number 2, you want to gaff toward the head and make sure you don't damage any of the meat on the body. But take your time, stay calm, cool, collected, have a skipper at the helm, ready to position the boat. You want to keep that fish just aft and in a fighting position. You've got an angler, then you have a person ready with the gaff. That's your ideal scenario. But do what you got to do, but no matter what, you do not want to put yourself in a position where you're going to drift over the fish. Now, if you're landing a fish to release it, same rules apply. Keep the boat downwind so you don't drift over the fish. But what I like to do is have my de-hooker ready to rock and roll. I'll take a couple turns of the line on my fluoro, keep the boat in gear, swim that fish till it gets reconstituted, if you will. Some fresh water through its gills, lower its lactic acid. When it's ready, it's going to be hard to handle. Throw the de-hooker in, boom, pop, off it goes. Healthy release.